Good evening, not good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. For a little bit of a late stream, I wanted to get the other video up first today instead of posting another late video. I must get back on schedule. Hey, Jacob Tiali, thank you for joining. Tomorrow, I have two reviews planned, Love and Monsters and also Rebecca. And then, hey, Lucas Ribeiro, thanks for, I think you've been a member before, so thanks for coming back. Yeah, my front light is off because it's a weird time of day, and the light that I usually have in the front makes me too bright, too blown out. So we have a weird dusk lighting effect going on here today. Then also, there's supposed to be a Monster Hunter trailer tomorrow. We'll see if it's an IGN exclusive or not. I'll react to it when I can. All right, so anyway, we have three great stories for today. Yeah, new stories. It's a really good lineup. If I had been on schedule, maybe I would have made a Mad Max video on its own. Hey, Ryan Griffin. Although I don't quite know if it's that level of a story just yet. I'll certainly be covering it as it starts to roll into production, but I don't know. Maybe it could have been a video. I don't know. I mean, I try not to have I don't want to have negative stuff all the time, and I think this movie's going to have some problems, and we already just talked about how Gal Gadot probably really shot herself in the foot with this Cleopatra movie. Hey, Oscar E. Nader. That's a great name. All right, so, ready, I like the, what is that, like a Purell emoji? That's pretty fantastic. All right, so the way these streams work, if you're new, is that we'll do the three stories up front. Then we'll do viewer interaction where you can ask me anything you'd like for the final 10 minutes of the stream. And then I'll do shout outs at the very end. All right, story number one. Hold on. Boop. All right, so it looks like Warner Brothers and George Miller have settled their legal issues. Hey, Daniel Rung, thanks for joining. If you join during a live stream, you get a shout out. But, that was holding up, the more Mad Max movies. The Mad Max Fury Road, of course, being a phenomenal film. Box office success. People gravitated towards it like they do the best DC comic book movies. And it did very well at the Oscars. It was nominated in almost all the major categories, and it took home a lot of Oscars in the secondary ones. It's a little bit like what happened with Black Panther, in fact. Very, very good film. I absolutely adored it. I thought it was just phenomenal. And it was a great comeback for George Miller, who, of course, had started out, doing Mad Max movies, but then had taken a bit of a break and gone and done like the Happy Feet animated movie, for which he won an Oscar, by the way. But this was a return to him for like live action, adult, gritty movies. So, yes, many of you are already ahead of me here. I think this is I'm conflicted on this headline, and let me tell you why. And I can see that many of you are already right there with me. While I do like Anya Taylor-Joy, I think she has a cool look. I think she could have been a great Ilyana if apparently the movie had not made Ilyana a really horrible person. I'm going to get a screener for that, the next couple of weeks so I can review it before it goes to digital. I've been talking to Disney about it, so that's good news. But everybody thought, here's like Anya Taylor-Joy has been like on the cusp of greatness for a while now, and it just hasn't worked out for her. Maybe this is it, but I don't know if it is because it's under pretty bad circumstances. Jodie Comer, in fact, was also in the running for this role, but maybe she was like, I don't want to be a part of this, and I can kind of agree with that. So they're doing a prequel for Furiosa. Now, everybody loved Furiosa, even though it was called Mad Max Fury Road. Everybody was like, oh my God, Furiosa is such a great character. Charlize Theron is so talented as an action star. And people wanted to see more of Furiosa. And George Miller's like, yeah, I know all about Furiosa. She has this crazy backstory and everything. But then that meant recasting the role with a younger actress. And I think particularly today, the optics on that are as bad as Top Gun Maverick not inviting Kelly McGillis back for a cameo in the new film, when other actors from the original film besides Tom Cruise have also been invited back. It seems beyond idiotic to me. So Charlize Theron, by the way, is not going to be quiet about this. She's already spoken about the fact, hey, Avatar 3, I believe is your name. I thought those were L's. So anyway, Charlize Theron was like, look, as Platinum Diva just pointed out, Charlize Theron said, hey, I co-created this character. I made this character what she was and why she clicked with the fans. and now you're going to make her own movie, and I'm not in it? She said it, and she talked about how that's a really horrible commentary on ageism, particularly for women in Hollywood. In fact, she had another horrible story to tell recently when they said, hey, didn't you turn down Wonder Woman, Charlize Theron? Couldn't you have been Wonder Woman? And she said, to tell you the truth, I did get an offer to be in the Wonder Woman movie. Hey, Liza Minnelli. Oh, it's great. Liza Minnelli's watching. That's fantastic. But Charlize Theron said, I would have loved to. So I said, who would I be? She said, she started to say, I don't know if you want me to play Wonder Woman. I think she was bringing up the age on her own just because she knows how Hollywood works. And then Hollywood, they actually said, as the Platinum Diva just pointed out, they were like, no, we want you to play Wonder Woman's mother. And she was like, what? So that's pretty insulting. I think Charlize Theron, many of us felt she should have been Captain Marvel. I think she would have been a great Captain Marvel. I still think she would have been a great Captain Marvel. I feel like, with all due respect to Brie Larson, who I think is a likable Captain Marvel, she's not at the level that you would want Captain Marvel to be. I was thinking about this on a side note. I was thinking about this potential multiverse Avengers that Kevin Feige is assembling with Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, Alexander Skarsgård, maybe Joaquin Phoenix for Doctor Strange. And I think Charlize Theron as Captain Marvel falls in this, where it's like, with all due respect to the actors who do play these characters, it's like the B team compared to like this A team of actors that could have been. Like the multiverse version of the Avengers, to me, seems like a DC comic book movie when they do really well. You're like, wow, that would have been amazing. It just seems like more high tier instead of, the cookie cutterness that Marvel is famous for. And to some people, infamous. But you can't deny what the box office results are. So pretty hilarious to me. So I feel very bad for Charlize Theron. I hope she does not be quiet about this. I hope she continues to bring it up whenever anybody asks her. Look, if I were Charlize Theron, I wouldn't go around bringing it up on my own all the time. But if people said to me, how do you feel about this? I'd continue to say, not great. Good for her. That's what she should say. And I have a real problem with this movie being made, quite frankly, without her. I mean, at the very least, they should split the time between a current adventure and her reflecting on her past, and then have Anya Taylor-Joy play her in the flashbacks. I just think it's really, really inappropriate. Chesko, that's not a nice joke. You know very well that Sean Penn is a really problematic individual, currently dating Vincent D'Onofrio's daughter. So I really don't think that's an appropriate thing to say. So anyway, but here's why I'm conflicted. Tom Hardy's not in the movie either. There's no Mad Max in this, apparently. So that's okay, Chesko. That's all right. I understand. I'm glad I could correct it. I know you mean well, Chesko. You're a sweetheart. All right, so anyway, I just really like Charlize Theron, and I'm upset about this. I'm upset about it. All right, so anyway, I do like the other two actors that have signed on. And by the way, Anya Taylor-Joy, I feel for her. This is a bad position to be put in, and she's not in the position to be turning down the leads in a major franchise for a major studio. But I think that she's going to have another New Mutants on her hands, potentially. So anyway, Chris Hemsworth is going to star. That's fantastic. He, of course, also is from Australia, as is George Miller. This is a big movie for him outside of Marvel, and that's not on Netflix. So I think he could fit really well with George Miller's storytelling. And then Yahya Abdul-Mateen, as the Geeky Gator just pointed out, Warner Brothers loves him. Warner Brothers is invested in Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Warner Brothers is a very loyal studio. When they decide they want to be in business with someone, they put them in everything. Look at how Jason Momoa is in Dune as well as Aquaman. So when you look at his background, he's actually in a ton of Warner Brothers projects. It's really interesting, except for Candyman. Candyman is not Warner Brothers. But when I first saw Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, I saw him in The Get Down, which was his big debut, which was just in 2016. He also went to the Yale School of Drama, like Lupita Nyong'o and many other actors. But I was like, wow, that guy's really something special. And that was just 2016. So his rise has, I think, been meteoric. But when he became Black Manta in Aquaman, when I finally saw the film, I love that movie, I did think that his role ended up being a little underwhelming. So you're like, oh man, are things not going to gel for Yahya Abdul-Mateen? But Warner Brothers was like, don't worry, we're going to take care of it. They made him Dr. Manhattan in their HBO series, and he just knocked it out of the park, just won an Emmy for that performance. He's, of course, in The Matrix 4, as Michael B. Jordan's like, I should have worked for Warner Brothers, god damn it, because he's not being taken care of. We're going to talk about Michael B. Jordan in the second video a little bit, and second story. So he's in, he was in Baywatch. Who just said that? Alvaro, did you just retract your message about him being in Baywatch? He was hilarious in Baywatch. All right, so yeah, he was really funny. I remember that was a really early role for him. He stood out. He was fantastic. So anyway, he's young Morpheus in Matrix 4, which is also not cool, by the way. As long as we're talking about not cool stuff, I feel that's not a cool thing to do, Lawrence Fishburne. But, again, you're like, but yeah, Abdul Mateen, I love you. I don't want anything bad to happen to you, but I feel bad for Lawrence. So but now he's in this project, which is also for Warner Brothers. He's very talented. I love him. I think he's just great. But, this is like a bad, so what do you guys feel? I mean, I have to say we'd have to see it, but I feel so bad for Charlize Theron. Anderson, I have Queen's Gambit screeners, but it doesn't come, and I could review it now, but it doesn't, I think, it's not good to review stuff so early unless it's like a really big project that everyone's like, I need the review now. So I'm going to review it closer to release. Juan says, I love Anya so much that I will forgive it. Although Jico's like, pain. That's pretty funny. Mandela Butterfly, Yahya Abdul Mateen II is playing young Morpheus in Matrix 4. I agree, Mika. Anya Taylor-Joy couldn't turn it down, and I would advise her not to, but this is a crappy situation to be in. If I were her, I'd be like, please, George, could you give Charlize some bookends on this story so she's in here a little bit? This is really bad. Please don't do this to me. I want us all to be happy. That's what I would say. All right. I don't know why, everyone talks in Hollywood about all the problems about representation, but ageism continues to be a real problem in Hollywood, in front of and behind the camera. And nobody wants to deal with it. All right, so that's the first story of the day. So we'll see how this goes. I think George Miller is very talented. I like everything about this except for the fact that Charlize Theron's not in it. It's a little bit like The Matrix 4, where you're like, oh, I'm so excited, but why is Lawrence Fishburne not invited back to play? And Lawrence Fishburne's like, oh, I wanted to come back too, and they wouldn't let me. And you're like, this is mean. All right, so Mika, more than narrate, I would want her to do a little bit more. She has to be physically on camera. All right, second story of the day. Boop! All right, so Paramount has sold yet another movie to a streaming service. This is funny because I heard from someone I'm talking to, someone, relatively new, so take it with a grain of salt. But someone said that they heard that the reason, someone I know in the industry, someone said that the reason that Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins were so gung-ho to have Cleopatra at Paramount was they were like, Paramount will release movies. Warner Brothers isn't releasing anything. And it's like, Paramount will sell it to a streaming service, so it'll see the light of day, but not on a big screen. So Paramount has made yet another sale. And that's right, Portis 2. Where the heck is the woman in the window? That was sold to Netflix, but they're like, we don't know what to do with this. All right, so anyway, Coming to America is the latest film to go to a streaming service from Paramount. But let's just walk ourselves through the sales that Paramount has recently made. They sold Trial of the Chicago 7, which comes out on Friday. Watch it, it's fantastic. They sold that and The Lovebirds to Netflix. Then they sold Without Remorse, Michael B. Jordan's Tom Clancy movie, to Amazon. That's crazy. And then now Coming to America has also gone to Amazon for $125 million. Around the same, I think Borat was either 125 or 120. But that's incredible. Jeff Bezos doesn't pay his employees appropriately, nor give them an appropriate work setting, yet he's shelling out like $250 million for these movies. I think it's really uncool, quite frankly. But, from Paramount's perspective, they turn a little bit of a profit on these movies, and they don't even have to run ad campaigns for them. So they're saved that expense. So I can understand why Paramount's like, yeah, you can release this. Go ahead, have fun with it. Yeah, Madeline, they're totally sold in their finished state. They're ready to go. All Amazon has to do is release it. And even more interestingly, Amazon is inheriting some deals that Coming to America has for promotion, which is a McDonald's deal and a Crown Royal Spirits tie-in, which is, I think, pretty hilarious. So I don't think we've ever seen a McDonald's or a tie-in like that for something that's on a streaming service. So that's pretty interesting. So Right now, it seems that Coming to America will keep its release date of December 18th, but will, instead of being released in theaters, become available on Amazon. And that's very close to Soul, as the Geeky Gator just pointed out. That's like less than a week away. That's very, very close. And, both obviously are targeting a larger audience, but their core audience is the Black community. So that's not great for Disney. I'd be like, what? So, and now they're both on streaming, at no extra cost in either place. You just have to be a subscriber to the service. Now, this is part of Amazon's deal to try and up their game. I think they're like, man, Netflix already was ahead of us. Now Disney Plus is doing great. HBO Max. People are going to think we aren't a cool streaming service. I mean, they have some good things on there, some very good, quite good shows, in fact. But they don't have anything that's been a massive hit until The Boys. The Boys has been a massive hit for them. So I'm very pleased for them, for Amazon. And also they have now they have all these big movies coming up. They also have Regina King's One Night in Miami, which is a hot awards contender. I think they need to fix their interface. I think that while the app is fine, it's a standalone app on like Apple TV or a phone. As Rainbow Nomad also just said, their visual layout isn't that exciting. Yeah, if you go on there just on a browser, it really does feel like you're just on Amazon's site for anything. It doesn't really feel like you're watching their own unique, you don't feel you're on a streaming service. You feel like you're just on Amazon. So I really feel they need to change it. But Madeline, they are doing an upload season 2. They just, because of the pandemic, it's delayed. But yeah, there are just absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful shows on there. By the way, speaking of great shows, as I tweeted, but I'll just bring it up here because I'm so happy about it. Ted Lasso was renewed for season 2 right as it kicked off on Apple TV. But now it's been renewed for season 3 already because it's just such a hot title on Apple TV. So I think the point of that is so that the writers who are doing season 2 know that they don't have to have a soft ending because the show might not get renewed. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty freaking excited about it. Madeline, I feel Ted Lasso, I don't want to give anything away to people who haven't watched it. You got to watch it. It's amazing. All right. So that's the second story of the day. Who here is an Amazon Plus? Who here will subscribe to Amazon Plus to watch all these movies? Ted Lasso, Logan, for those of you who don't know, it's Jason Sudeikis comedy. It's a half-hour sitcom about an American football coach who goes to coach a professional soccer team in the UK, and it's really fantastic. Most people already have it. Yeah, I mean, you get 2-day free shipping. I mean, it's Amazon Prime's like most people have it for something that's not watching television. So most people already have it, just nobody talks about it. Pretty interesting. Lloyd agrees. 2-day shipping, baby. All right, I love it. All right, so that's the second story of the day. Let's go to the third story of the day. Boop. All right, so Jackie Chan is swooping in. Oh, that's right. Prime Day is today, Jack. Good call. So Jackie Chan is swooping in and taking James Bond's No Time to Die release date of November 20th, but he's doing it with a movie made in China. Very interesting. That's a picture from the film. That's a crazy haircut he's got on there, but I do like this new serious action star, Jackie Chan. I have The Foreigner up there because I liked The Foreigner so much. The Foreigner was not a Chinese film, though. It was directed by Martin Campbell, who, of course, did several Bond movies, co-starred Pierce Brosnan, has Cliff Martinez doing the score. If you're looking for something to watch The Foreigner. I think it's even on Netflix, and it trended when it first got on Netflix. It was a very good show. Very good movie. So Platinum Diva agrees. Yeah, and so does Chris. It was good. It was a good movie. The Foreigner is excellent. So Jackie Chan's like, less kung fu, more straight up action. So he has this film called Vanguard. I don't even know what it's about, but it was filmed and made in China. So I wonder how it translates to American audiences because of that. Jackie Chan, though, is pretty smart. He's a pretty smart guy. So who's picking it up? Gravitas Ventures, who I've really never heard of. I went and looked up what movies they've distributed before, and The Secret, which has been doing not so bad on iTunes, that's who they are. So they don't have a lot of background, but this is a chance for them to make a mark for themselves. So they're going to distribute Vanguard in North America, which is the US and Canada, and it'll be available not only in movie theaters, but they're going to focus also on drive-ins and IMAX theaters. And this was part of a larger story in the trades about how indie distributors are looking for foreign films that they can release here because the Hollywood studios are so reluctant to release their own films. So I think that's an interesting fix. Although I feel like the people who were willing to risk themselves during a pandemic are not that interested in foreign film. But maybe a Jackie Chan movie. Like, here's the thing. Are you going to the movies right now? And if so, would you go and see this Jackie Chan movie on November 20th? Madeline says they took his home. Should we boycott? Well, it was only one of his homes, Madeline. China's a rough place to live. I think we have to be sympathetic. Mika, I think everyone who lives in China is pro-China because otherwise, the alternative's pretty dire. Lisa says, I am going to the movies right now, but I would not go for this. Dogomania says, no, but if it streams, I am there. Yeah, I think this would do quite well on streaming, and I'm sure they'll rush it to there pretty fast. I did hear that if your movie, they're trying to still stick to the traditional window. Like, for instance, like a movie like Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted 3 has to stick to the traditional window, so it won't be able to go up for rent at a lower price point until it's done its 3 months, just like it would if it had hit theaters. Coco Rose, I don't know about a 17-day window. I mean, AMC's agreed to that with Universal, but that's because Universal gives them a cut of the gross from the streaming. So Gravitas Ventures would have to make a similar deal. Geeky Gator, The Croods 2 is supposed to... Freaky and The Croods 2 are maybe doing the 17-day window, but Universal doesn't have to do that with every film that they have, and they have not confirmed that they're definitely doing that. All right, I think you guys are bored with the story because you're already going to other questions, so let's go to that part of the video. All right, it is 6:28. You can ask me anything you'd like until 6:40, and then we'll do a couple of shout-outs, and then I must go. Anything you'd like to ask me. Anderson says, thoughts on Chaos Walking trailer leak. Well, where is it? Why didn't they release it today? What are they waiting on? I didn't watch it. I obviously can't react to it. But I'm curious. I think Doug Liman is a really fantastic director. So I would think it would be unusual that he wouldn't do a good movie. Chico, I'm having hot dogs this evening and watching Love and Monsters starring Dylan O'Brien. Because the embargo lifts tomorrow. Rainbow Nomad, I do have some Aquaman tea for you. I did hear from someone that James Wan is concerned about the Avatar 2 special effects. Those movies, of course, are supposed to open opposite each other, and James Wan is concerned that James Cameron's going to knock them out of the park with 3D water effects because so much of the movie is said to take place in the ocean. So he's like, although I have to say, I thought the special effects in Aquaman were fantastic. I don't know why everybody... is always like bagging on them. Occasionally, like maybe it was a little bit wonky, but I thought like underwater stuff was phenomenal. So I don't know. I didn't think of the fact that Avatar was a water movie versus Aquaman. That's not great. I would not want to have that. Yeah, as Ben said, I think everyone's over 3D. I'll never forget seeing Avatar. I saw it in an IMAX, the IMAX theater here in New York at Sony Lincoln Square. That doesn't have aisles. So if you're in the middle, which is the ideal place to be, good luck getting out of the row. So I was like, this movie's awful. Like, I liked the first 20 minutes. And I recently rewatched it and had the same exact reaction. I was like, oh, this is better than I remember. And then about a third of the way through, I was like, oh yes, it's awful after a while. So I was like, man, I sure would like to leave. And then I looked to my left and I looked to my right. And I was like, this is going to be too difficult to get out of here. Forget it. Especially because, the IMAX rows are so close together, you have to, go over everybody's backpack and hit their knees, and it's just a disaster. Let's see here. Chicken Beach says, do you like Sam Worthington? Let me put it this way. I don't dislike Sam Worthington. I'm not like, yes, Sam Worthington's coming back. I'm like, yeah, we got to bring him back because he was in the first movie, but I'm not like, oh, boy. Let's see here. Logan says Rogue and Captain Marvel 2 rumors. I haven't heard anything about that, and I don't believe it to be true. I don't know. We'll see if Feige starts sprinkling in X-Men here and there. But I have heard, and it makes total sense, that Captain Marvel 2 is going to be a secret invasion movie. And what would Rogue do in that story? Why would you also take away Captain Marvel's powers so quickly? I mean, it makes no sense. And the only reason Rogue would be there would be to drain Brie Larson. Also, I have to say, people are so mean to Brie Larson, which, you know, I can understand having some problems with her, but you don't have to be mean to her. I think that a very small sliver of fandom is sometimes just downright cruel. And I wouldn't open up the option for people to be like, oh, here it is where Brie Larson gets drained of her powers, and like do like horrible poster frames and make fun of it and celebrate. I would be very nervous. I'd be like, I don't want to do that. Oh, Lloyd, what is the Rotten Tomatoes score for Soul? Let's look at it. It debuted at the London Film Festival or something. So now all its reviews are coming out ridiculously early. Just like you might have noticed that Gal Gadot has a magazine cover because Wonder Woman was supposed to be coming out now. And it's not. So she's just on the cover of this magazine for no reason. All right, let's see here. Soul. 100? Of course it's Pixar. I'm not at all surprised. Not at all. Yeah. I think that we have to see how we feel about I want to see how much of the movie Jamie Foxx's character is a black man and how much he's a green ghost. Because is it another Princess and the Frog and stuff where the character doesn't get to spend any time as the character? Because, you know, I feel like it's up to us to call people on that at this point. Matt Go, I have seen the Everybody's Talking About Jamie trailer. It looks fantastic. I didn't react to it because it came out on a Sunday and I was very busy doing New York Comic Con and all the other stuff I was covering. So I watched it and then I couldn't react to it because I watched it. So I will react to the trailers going forward and I, of course, will review it. That's right, Geeky Gator. Will Smith in Spies in Disguise as well, where he was a pigeon. That's good to hear, Sam. Logan, I had a wonderful time co-hosting and producing the New York Comic Con show. It was great. Thank you to all of you who joined in. We talked to a wonderful group of guests. Everybody was a delight. We had so much fun. And those videos are still up, by the way, on the New York Comic Con YouTube channel, and so you can check them out if you missed them. Bug, I'm so glad you enjoyed our watch-along. We have another one this Sunday, this coming Sunday. We're going to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas. And I'm thinking of making it a sing-along watch-along because you can get the sing-along version on Disney+. Is anyone here interested in a sing-along watch-along? Although I am a little concerned people might tape me singing and I'm so bad that it would be bad. Your enthusiasm makes me feel that we should do this anyway, though. Whatever, man. I'm not a professional singer. Oh, Elliot, I'm sorry you'll be at work. I'm like Lucille Ball with my singing. But I want to sing, this is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween. Dop, dop, dop. It'll be fun. Let's see here. JJ Studios, I thought The Lord of the Rings was medium. Oh, maybe I'll lip sync the song, Kirby. That's pretty smart. That's a good way to get away with it. I don't know. We'll see. That's right, Chesco. What is this? What's this? Do, 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 do. It'll help if I have the song to go along with. That helps me a little bit with my hitting the right note. Because I was actually in chorus in school, and that's because everybody was singing around me. But if I have to sing on my own, it's pretty awful. Tabitha, I shared so much tea today. I told you Tobey Maguire's being difficult in negotiations for Spider-Man 3. He's like, I dare you to make it without me. And they're like, we don't want to, but we don't want to pay you that much. I'd pay him. I mean, he has to invest in his future. I mean, what else does he have going for him these days? I'd be like, you better promote the hell out of this, though, Toby. You'd better promote the hell out of it. Let's see here. Portis Stu says, Grace, what's the best X-Men comic book? You know, they really recovered there for a while. I was so happy with what Jonathan Hickman was doing, but I feel like this new stupid X of Swords or whatever has just totally crashed the line, and I'm back to not reading any X-Men titles because I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'm pretty miffed about it. I bought a lot of comics today, though. You know, Strange Adventures came out today, and I was like, oh, am I caught up on the Strange Adventures, you know, the Adam Strange thing that Tom King is doing? And I was like, am I caught up on that? And I missed the last, 3 comics. And I was like, damn it, why didn't I see when any of these came out? So I had to go buy all of them. And so some other good stuff came out today. What else did I get? I'll tell you. Hold on. This is Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Da, da, da. See, I told you. Tone deaf, baby. Let's see if I can find my stupid email because I delete them. I'm annoyed that Google is like, hey, do you want to pay to have a little more space in your inbox? And I'm like, pay for Gmail? I think not. Hold on. Tell you what I bought. Where is it? Come on. Where'd it go? Did I not put it in the trash? Let's see. Oh, damn it. Let me just look it up here. Dude, boy, the sun sure sets early now, huh? How depressing. All right. Let me tell you what I bought today. I bought the new Death Metal. I bought the new Injustice because it has Harley and Poison Ivy in it. Oh, yeah, Rorschach came out today, speaking of Tom King, and I was like, oh, I definitely want to read that. Then I bought a whole bunch of Strange Adventures to catch up on it. I bought the old Wonder Woman that came out today. It was like a classic reprint. And even though I haven't read any of the other classic reprints that I bought recently, I still bought it anyway for some stupid reason. I was like, I'll get to it. Then I also bought the new Wonder Woman, although I don't like her working with Maxwell Lord. And then that's all I bought today, because today was only DC Day. Of course, the other comics all come out tomorrow. Mika, I always buy the Archie comics, but they come out tomorrow. Yeah, Gemini, it's year 1 Injustice. And I like Tom Taylor's work. I like Injustice, and I always like, whenever I can get a good Harley and Ivy story, I always pick it up. Logan, I did read Saga. I don't know when it's coming back. It was so good. All right, we have 1 minute left, then we'll do shout-outs. Madeline, I'm not a Jane Austen fan, I'm afraid. I don't have anything against Jane Austen, but I'm like, oh boy. Let's see here. I have not met Gal Gadot, Chesko. Platinum Diva, I'm very excited for One Night in Miami. I hear great things. I'm a big Regina King fan, and I love the cast. So I'm very, very excited about it. Let's see here. Waffles. Yes, I think the colors for iPhone 12 are disgusting. I don't want a colorful phone. Are you kidding me? No, thank you. And I'm sure it's ridiculously expensive. So I like my iPhone that I have right now. I'm very happy with it. And I will buy that HomePod Mini. I even made some notes in my schedule. The HomePod Mini, that shall be mine. I might even buy 2 of them for my apartment. All right, it's 6:40. Shout out time. So don't ask me any more questions because I'm not going to answer them. So you can tell me what you're doing, if you're eating anything, what your plans are for this evening, where you are, and I'll give a couple of shout outs. $800 for the phone. Forget it. Lloyd says, in Metro Transit from work here in Virginia. Oh, happy to keep you company. Anderson is in Brazil. Love it. Chico is in his living room planning to eat dinner soon. Oh, I hope you have a nice dinner planned. Chris Christopher, I'm lying in bed wishing you answered one of my questions. That's pretty funny. Sam Automatic is having some jerk chicken. Rainbow Nomad is finishing Bly Manor tonight with their cat. Madeline is in Ohio by the fire. Oh, yeah, I know. We don't go outside really anymore, and it just turned into fall. I'm like, what? It's fall. New York's temperature has been really nice, but it's going to drop this weekend and not come back. Oh, Tanya's eating an Almond Joy in Maryland. Don't give any to Black Noir. Donnell is being held hostage in his bed by his cat. That's adorable. The cat's like, we're not getting up. Let's see here. Alvaro is in rainy Guatemala eating Cinnabon. Oh my God, I love Cinnabon. It's hard to find them anymore here, at least in New York. They're delicious. Jason Mills is having steak frite. My goodness, you guys are eating good. Utaka is having apple pie. Zeester's in Kuwait, as always, on the treadmill. Very good for you. I'm impressed. World of Devon says, I'm in Fresno buying a Happy Meal for McDonald's, and they're giving away Marvel toys. That's awesome. Hey, Regio. Yes, Steven points out there's only 3 Cinnabon in all of New York City. Faisal is eating a homemade cheese pizza in Kuwait, also in Kuwait, while studying for my Disney screenwriting college midterm. Oh, that's exciting. Good luck. Super Extrovert just had a Nutter Butters. I've never eaten that. I'm not even quite sure what it is, but I'm glad you're enjoying it so much. I've heard of it, I think. Carsten says it's 12:42 in Germany. I've already eaten my dinner. Oh, well, thanks for staying up with me. Let's see here. Logan says, I've lost 15 pounds because I cut out soda and sweets. Oh, Logan, I'm so happy for you. That's wonderful. I've cut out soda, but maybe you're inspiring me to maybe after Halloween cut out sweets until Thanksgiving. Oh, good night, Portis, too. Juan, I'm looking into that Miles Morales rumor. I've asked my sources to look into it for me. Let's see here. Steven says, I'm about to take a relaxing hot candle bath in Brooklyn. Oh, that sounds nice. I like your emojis. That's adorable. Rachel said, I finally stopped drinking diet drinks. I'm 44 days into it. Oh, that's great. Good for you. Yeah, I only drink soda. I don't drink soda anymore. It was really hard to give it up. One of the things that helped me is that I didn't want to drink diet soda because I was worried about chemicals. And then I looked into regular soda, and it had corn syrup in it, hydrogenated corn syrup. Like soda's ginger ale a lot of the times. And I was like, what? You're not even supposed to eat that stuff. Now you want me to put a straw in it? So good morning, DW12th. So now I just drink water and iced tea. As I've said before, a Spartan existence, but I enjoy it. Renee is on the elliptical. Good for you in North Carolina. I have a gym, but I'm still worried to go to it. Damn it. Craig has also been thinking of going to the gym, but I've been saying that for 2 years. That's hilarious. Devin is a dancer, also in New York City. Hello, fellow New Yorker. Waffle said, drinking iced tea without spilling it this time on Long Island. Your bed thanks you. Let's see here. Super Extrovert has also given up diet soda. And Chris is in Queens watching The Craft. Oh, that sounds awesome. All right, you guys, as always, I had a wonderful time with you. I will see you tomorrow for another live stream. Thank you for everybody who's a member. It's very helpful, and I really appreciate it, and I love chatting with you. And if you can't be a member, I totally understand, and I'm glad that you're still able to join in and listen in. And I have to say, the members, you guys were just so generous. Members were very cool with doing this, with sharing the live streams with everybody, and just making the difference as to whether or not you can comment. So happy this has worked out. See you tomorrow, and of course, there'll be lots of other videos going up tomorrow as well, as I work very hard to get back on schedule. All right. Bye, everybody. Tomorrow's another day. I'm going to do it. Bye.